Hello. Happy Tuesday. Happy hailstoning Tuesday. Happy I have lit the fire even though it's only 12 o'clock because it's cold. I'm of the age group where I don't like being cold. Yeah. Today's a bit different. Mostly I'm going to be showing you necklaces that's just arrived yesterday from eBay, eBay Queen. What am I wearing today? I think it's gorgeous. It looks like bunches of grapes to me. I've had this one a little while. And what am I wearing on me? It's a top done in James C. Brett Marble Chunky. And it comes from, for once I can tell you what the pattern is. It comes from Doris Chan's book, Amazing Crochet Lace. If you haven't got this book, it's lovely. You should get one. You probably have to get it on a second-hand kind of stall because, I don't think it's around anymore. Sadly not around anymore. I'm just trying to find the top. I'm sure it's in this one. If it isn't, it's in one of the others. Yeah, I think it's in this one. Bear with me one moment while I look for it. And of course, can't find it. Oh, it doesn't look like it's in this one. Never mind, this is a lovely book. I've done the Blue Curacao shawl so many times. I wonder which book this is in then. I could have sworn it was in this book. You have to bear with me while I have a think. That's very unfortunate. I thought it was in this book. Anyway, I can show you the Blue Curacao shawl, which is in this book. Oh, if I had fingers that worked, I'd be fine. That one. I've done that so many times. It is absolutely gorgeous. And I could have sworn this top was in here. This would have been the book I would have reached if I'd have wanted to make it again, which I do. Because I do have some James C. Brett. It is in this book. I knew it would be. It's composed of, well, I think they're hexagons, or what are they? They're that shape anyway, that shape. You make 4 of them. It is quite short. That's the only problem with it. I've tried to make it longer and failed, because to make it longer it goes wider as well, so that didn't work. Anyway, I've got more of this J.C. Brett's Marble Chunky in the shed, so I'm going to make myself another one. I did have another one, but I don't know what happened to it. Probably lost along the way. I have finished one little cardigan off, but it's not blocked and it doesn't have its buttons on yet. No pattern, please don't ask. It's made in the basket stitch. And I've made it it needs grey buttons put in on it. That snoring, by the way, wasn't me. It could be Trixie, I think. I'm looking after the doggies today. And that reminds me, I haven't set my timer because I am, as usual, totally disorganised. As per usual, let's set the timer. Timer. Well, it won't be 29 minutes now, will it? Because you've been talking for a bit. So let's do 27. There we go. That way I won't run out. Right, well, what have I got to show you today? Well, I have got the grand sum of 16 necklaces that arrived yesterday, and they cost me £17.80. That's with the postage. So I don't call that bad. That's about £1 a necklace. Well, near enough. My maths never was very good. This one's wooden with like a shell Oh, I don't know whether you can see because the lighting is a bit rubbish, isn't it? There you go, stop waving it about, Gemma. It's like a shell and it's got wooden beads at the side. Pop it on the floor when I've done it. This one's black and sort of, it looks like the inside of a washing machine, doesn't it, this bit there. It's black and cream coloured. Nice big chunky one, you know me with my chunky necklaces. There's two of these actually. They're very strange looking. They're made up of... Oh! Rosie's taking exception to the trash man dustbin men. Rosie, enough. Stop it. That's enough. People don't want to hear you. It's made up of like crinkly circles. It's strange. Strange necklace, but very nice. And there's actually two of those. There's actually one in sort of like a pinky red shade. They're just complete and utter circles, if you can see them, and crinkly circles. You know, when you think about it, worth much, much more than £1 a necklace, really, aren't they? Very good value. Rosie, stop it. We don't want to hear you. Stop it. Oh, she's a pain if anything happens. This is probably one that I won't wear. Purely because it's very, very short. And I've got a fat neck. It's little teeny weeny beads with sort of like threaded through. A shell kind of. But that would really be a really choker on me because I say I've got a fat neck. So I don't think I'd be able to wear that one. This one... excuse me, we don't wish to hear you. Thank you. Yes, they've gone now, so you don't need to bark anymore. Oh, honestly. This one reminds me of a ladybird, or a ladybug as you call them in America. It's very sort of rounded, isn't it? Yeah. It's on wooden beads. Yeah. I love unusual necklaces, as you probably gathered, yeah. This one is another one I probably won't keep. But bear in mind, out of 16 necklaces, if you don't like 2 of them, it's good going, isn't it? This one's like coral, like little orange coral. But once again, it's very, very short. And it actually looks as though it's been repaired, so it looks a bit dodgy, as if it might break at any moment. So I don't think that one's going to be worn. What have we got next? Oh dearie me, they're all tangled up on there. This one's a black one, very similar to a lot of the ones I've got, except that this one's sort of got the carvings in it. You know what you can see, like carvings on the beads, which makes it a little bit more different than the usual ones I have. Carvings always remind me of like totem poles and things like that. Yeah. Sort of like a marble effect, really. This one is unusual. Tiny little beads with the beads all around the outside. Once again, it's short, so I'd have to make sure it would actually go around this. I was blessed with a chunky neck. Well, it matches the chunky body, doesn't it? Come on, Janet, let's be honest. Right, there we go. Pretty though, pretty, pretty. This one I do like, you know me and my unusual ones. Again, it's a short one, so I'm just hoping. Hello, phone. So I'm just hoping that it actually does go round my neck, because I do love it, because it's... I mean, I could always get an extension chain. When they've got chains at the back, you can always get an extension chain. It's like a plaited, all in different beads. I think that's really cute. Not that I wear much pink, but it's still nice, isn't it? Maybe I should go into wearing pink instead of my usual purple. Oh, hello, it's raining again. Oh no, it's raining again. This one's glittery. Once again, there's quite a few short ones that I'm going to have to try. But I do have an extension, well, some extension chains somewhere, but of course, as usual, I don't know where they are. But, hey ho. I'm sure it'll go round. Sure my neck's not that fat. This one is got my favourite colours in it. It's got purples in it. Loads and loads of different beads. You know, it wants sorted out. It's a bit tangly, but hey ho. Can't have it always. So it's like browns and purples, and I'm wearing purple today. This is another one I'm not too certain about. But, you know, you expect it, don't you, in a bundle of 16, that you're not going to like every single one. But to me, it's such good value when you buy the bundles. eBay, if you wonder where I get them from, eBay. I mean, if you look on eBay, individual necklaces can cost you, you know, some of them, honestly. And if you're looking at Tatty Divine, whoever she might be, I know she's a necklace designer, some of hers are like £50 just for one necklace, much as I like them. I'm sorry, I don't have £50 to spend on one necklace, yeah. This one is orangey red. It's got a dangle. I've got a few that are in this style, you know, like what I call like a dangle hanging on the end. Yeah, sort of an orangey, tiny little beads and red beads and what have you got, yeah. Right, we're down to the last two. This one, I don't know whether you can see it too well on the camera. It's like shot with purple. It's tiny beads, but they're shining like blues and purples and what have you got. Stop swinging and people can see. And it's got a little dangly bit at the bottom. I keep going the wrong way with this camera. I will take some still photos of it, yeah. And this one is one of my favourites. It just reminds me of sweets. I don't know why it reminds me of sweets, but it does. Look at the colours on that. Oh, let's hold it like that. Isn't that gorgeous? Like a 3D effect, isn't it? Woohoo! Well, that's the end of what I've got to show you today. I've got the last few days of my, you know, before the craft fair on Saturday. I brought some things in, as, you know, if you looked at the videos before this one, you will have seen. I've got to put prices on them and measure them and do things like that. I also need to go back in the shed because I've got 3 little kiddies' handbags in there somewhere. And I've also, what else have I got in there that is missing? Some other little bits and pieces that are missing. And I'm just going to concentrate on doing small things until, you know, the craft fair. I actually found a lovely book. I've had it for a while. I've probably shown it to you before. Sorry about the top of my head. It's called Mindful Crochet by Emma Leith. And I like this. I've got some embroidery rings, so I like the mandala style things. And there's also some cute, well, there's Christmas baubles, but I won't be doing those, of course. What have we got? Oh, those are key rings. Now, Sarah is coming with me. She's done some key rings, but I don't think they're like that. These are, I think, thicker ones. I think you stuff them and you put like tassels on them. They're cute. And there's hearts, you know, for a garland, or what we call it. Yeah, they call it a garland. I think we call it something like that. I like the shawl, but of course I've got so many shawls I'm not going to make any more. But it's a nice one. That's actually a table topper, you know, like a mat or whatever you want to call them. You could turn it into a, you know, those, not wind chimes, what do they call them? I know they call them mandalas, but they've got another name, haven't they? Dream catcher, that's the one, isn't it? Dream catcher. They've got little baskets in here. You know, it's a good book if you've got bits and bobs that you want to use up, yeah. That's another nice, well, it's not really a shawl, it's more like a wrap, but isn't that lovely? All those lovely colours. Of course, it's pinks and purples, isn't it? So that's why my eye is drawn to it. This is very pretty, but I don't know whether I'd ever make it. You're using an embroidery hoop, but you're doing the flowers to hang round, you know, to make it like a... I might make one for myself, but I don't think they would sell as is, you know. For all the work that you put in them, you would never get the price back. And then there's the flags, you know, like another wall hanging or whatever you call them. They call them garlands. We've got a different name for them. I've made them before. Oh, bunting, that's what it is. I've made them before like that, you know, with the triangles. I've made those before. In fact, I've got one in the shed that's in bright colours. I may actually make something else, and those are textured placemats, which are quite nice. Not that we would have use for them. I would if it was me. I love a placemat because I think it saves your table, doesn't it? And this I absolutely adore, but it's got little mirrors in it. I don't know where you get the mirrors. I would love that above my bed. I've got wardrobes above my bed, you know, like the top cupboards, and I would love to make that to put underneath, to dangle down. I think it's gorgeous. But you have to get some kind of mirrors. A shisha mirrored valance. Where you would get the mirrors from, I have no idea, but they probably sell them somewhere. But you could make it without the mirrors though, couldn't you? It still would look nice. I've seen them, like the door things that go over a door like that, on Moonbeams of Mayhem, one of my favourite shops. But of course, you know, they were sort of quite expensive. And at the moment I'm trying to cut costs, not spend more. But having said that, you know, I will go and buy like loads of necklaces. But to me, that's one way of making what you've already got in your wardrobe look different. You know, if you've got a different necklace on. I mean, I've got a lot of these plain, I call them plain dresses, so you can see them or not. I've got them in all colours. They're just plain long sleeve dresses. And I bought them in all different colours about 2, 3, 4 years ago, so that I can dress them up. You know, you can wear something bright over the top of them. You can dress them up or dress them down. Oh, and my fire looks as though it's going out. How awful is that? Yeah. Well, on oh shush, on Sunday I went to my cousin's 80th birthday party. That's what I couldn't say before. I don't think she watches my videos, but I couldn't say where I was going because it was a surprise. It was quite a surprise for me, however. I went and I'm like, I'm coming to her 80th party, and this guy at the restaurant said, oh yeah, this way. So I goes in and I thought, I don't know anybody here, don't know anybody. And this dear little sweet old lady comes up, gives me a big kiss and says, oh, thank you so much for coming. I can't quite place your face. She said, who are you? I said, I'm Jean and Lynn's cousin. And she went, oh, I don't know any Jean and Lynn. And then I just cast my eyes to the side, and there was all these birthday cards saying happy 90th. And I had this dawning realisation, I'm in the wrong party. Just as this young lass was going to give me a Bucks Fizz glass. And I thought, well, no, I better not accept it because I'm in the wrong party. So I said to her, is there another party going on? She said, oh yes, there's one upstairs. Hang on a minute, I'll show you where it is. So I goes upstairs to this other party, walks in again, doesn't know anybody, and I'm thinking, are we really at the right place here? And then I spotted my cousin's daughter, so I thought, yes, I'm in the right spot. So anyway, it was very, very crowded. And considering I am from Royton, stroke Shaw, stroke Oldham, I didn't know anybody. Apart from my relatives, I didn't know anybody. So it was quite a sort of function, you know, and I've come all the way, like, from Fleetwood, all the way, like, to Shaw for this function. And, like, I felt sure I would have been bound to have known people, because they were all my generation. And I thought, I'm bound to know people, like, because we had shops in Royton for years. I thought, I'm bound to recognise somebody that came in the shop or something, but no. But the buffet was very good. I did put a picture on Instagram and Facebook of my buffet. It wasn't, you know, the traditional dried up butty and a sausage roll. It was a fantastic buffet. I've got to say that, it really was. And one of them was a rib, and it was gorgeous. Should have gone round again and got another rib. Wasn't bothered about the rest of the buffet, but I should have got another rib. Those ribs were, Wish I knew what the recipe was. Not eaten ribs for such a long time. But I think I did ask him. I think he said something about garlic. And he did say sweet and sour, actually, but I didn't taste any sweet and sour. But the rib was gorgeous. And then we had tiramisu and profiteroles for the after bit, which I didn't take a photo of. I was too busy wolfing them down. And then we got a glass of rosé, you know, to toast my cousin, who was 80. And her son and her son-in-law were giving little speeches, you know. I thought, nobody will do that for me. The last party I had was for my 40th, and I organised it myself. So I don't think there'll ever be any surprise parties for me. Ever. I mean, my next big one would be the 80th in 3 years' time, wishing my life away here. But I doubt if anybody would do that. In fact, it's the craft fair on Saturday, and I said to my son, am I all right for a lift on Saturday? And they looked at each other and said, oh, we were going to go away. You didn't say. And I thought, I've had a lift with every craft fair I've ever done because I don't have a car. How can I get 3 mannequins and 2 big bags of stuff on a scooter, you know? I know I've ridden with 1 mannequin, but not 3 mannequins and 2 bags. That's pushing it a bit. Somebody did suggest that I should get one of those little carts at the back, you know, like you put the dogs and the kids in, you know. Drag that behind me up the seafront. Anyway, they decided they're going to go away Thursday, Friday instead now. And so hopefully they can give me a lift. I mean, I would have thought it was taken as read, or is it me being stupid? That if you've had a lift for every other craft fair you've done, that you would need a lift for the craft fair you're going to do. But apparently no, I'm supposed to say I need a lift. I'd written it on the calendar where I was going. You know, the joint calendar. If you've got anywhere to go, Mum, put it on the calendar, then we know where you are and what you're doing. Wrote it on the calendar. It's been on the calendar for over a month. But apparently I'm supposed to say I need a lift. Oh boy. So times like this I do wish I had a car still, although I can't drive one now. But, you know, having sleep apnea and narcolepsy doesn't help. The fact that you may nod off while you're driving is not a big help, is it, you know? I don't think the DVLA, that's the, whatever it is in England, you know, that gives you your driver's licence. I don't think they would look upon me very kindly if I said, well, my sleep apnea is controlled by a sleep machine, but, you know, I do have a bit of narcolepsy every now and again. I have been known to fall asleep on lives. I haven't done it for a while, but anybody who's been with me for a while will remember I have nodded off on lives because I've sort of woke up to see, like, people typing 3, 2, 1 and Janet's back in the room. I've fallen asleep on garden walls, my front door wide open with a trowel in one hand and a spade in the other, yeah? My neighbours come across to shake me awake because she didn't want burglars walking in the house while I was asleep on the garden wall. I've fallen asleep when I had company one time. I had people in the house. I invited people round, you know, for the evening. I woke up, I was on my own in the dark. Thought, was everybody gone? So I like text message, where did you go? They said, oh, you fell asleep and we couldn't wake you up, so we just went. Fine hostess I was, wasn't I? Falling asleep. Room full of people, and I fall asleep. Ah, it's fun being me. You have to admit it. My life is not dull. I was nearly blown away coming down the seafront yesterday. Had my sides down on the scooter because it was blowing a gale. So of course, with having the sides down, it was like buffeting me. Woo-doo-doo. I nearly finished up in the wall a couple of times. Thankfully it didn't blow me towards the sea. Sea foam was coming up. I should have took photos, shouldn't I? But there was no way I was stopping to unzip to get me phone out to take a little video of the sea. The sea was so rough. Sea foam was coming over. It was, and my son had to go to work on his motorbike yesterday because he knew his MOT, whatever it is, on his car was due. But when he came to look, it was actually out by a couple of days. And of course you can't drive them because it means that if you have a bump or anything like that, your insurance is invalid and everything like that. So it meant he couldn't use the car until he can take it to get it tested. So he had to go on his motorbike. So of course he picked the absolute wrong day, didn't he, for this? Well, he didn't pick it, did he? It was picked for him. Anyway, today my daughter-in-law's given him a lift. And I don't know how he's going to get back, but she gave him a lift in because she's gone to Bury. She goes on a Tuesday to see her grandchildren. Yeah. So I've got the two doggies who are sleeping on the sofa, if you can see them. Rosie's flat out, and you can probably just about see her. And Trixie is sitting on the cushions. I mean, they've been for a very long walk, as you can tell by all the very wet footprints everywhere. Yeah. So, oh, my fire is going. I've lit the fire because I'm on my own today with the doggies. So I need to rinse through the little jacket because, you know, to make it lie flat, it's got to be blocked out. And I've got also to rinse out that, you know, the mandala waistcoat that I made. That needs washing and blocking before the weekend. This one also needs buttons, but I'm not going to the shed to find some buttons. I mean, one of the ladies that I normally meet on a Thursday is not coming because she's got a hairdressing appointment. And the other lady, Sarah, is the one who's doing the craft show with me on weekends. So I might just mention to Sarah maybe that we give this Thursday a miss and just get on with what we've got to get on with for the, you know, the craft show. So, you know, we'll just see. But I'm not making any more big things for the craft show. I'm just going to make some bits. Sarah's been making some key rings and different things, you know. So if you're in Fleetwood, it's Fleetwood Methodists. It's 11 till 2, I think. 11 till 3, 11 till 2, something like that, at Fleetwood Methodist Church. And that's where we will be. And it's usually a really good craft fair. There's usually some nice stalls there, you know, that do a variety of things. It's one of the better ones, if you can say that about a craft fair. You know, where a lot of the stalls are quite upmarket, if you know what I mean. They're not, I mean, we've been to some craft fairs and quite honestly, you know, they've been a bit scruffy looking, you know. Dare you say that, you dare you, but I've been accused of being a snob, I think I am. I would love to go to a really, really good craft fair, farmers market, whatever you want to call them. But of course, not having transport, it just limits you. You can't do these sort of things.